In today's episode, we're talking about the 3 steps to manifesting anything you desire. Let's find out. Welcome. This is Gull Khan, your money mindset expert. And today we're talking about the 3 steps to manifesting anything you want. We've been talking a lot about manifesting in my mastermind and other conversations. So I thought, let me speak to you guys and explain my perspective of manifesting and have a very simple methodology. And as you guys have known, you should know about me now, I believe in simplicity. I don't believe in overcomplicating things. I think the simpler, the better, and the more application it can have. So I have 3 steps to manifesting anything you desire. Obviously, I focus on money because that's where I am. I'm a money mindset expert. But you can use the 3 steps to manifest pretty much anything in your life. And it's imperative that you apply them, as I sort of explain to them. This is a very simple methodology, but it's really, really powerful. But a lot of people get it wrong. And I've seen this applied, misapplied by quite a few. And therefore, I thought, let me sort of share with you my simplified version. And it's if you apply this properly, it's a very powerful one. So I'm going to get into this. This will probably be a relatively short episode because I just want to give you this methodology, but I really wanted to share this with you guys. So step number 1. Knowing what you want. Far too many times people say, I want this or I want that, but they're not really sure about it. You have to sit down and firmly decide what it is that you want. Is it the 100,000? Is it a million? Is it the house? Is it the car? Is it the partner? Is it the child? What is it that you actually want? Be very clear. Do not put any limitations on yourselves. Whatever you truly want is coming from your higher self. Remember, your desires are given to you by divine source energy. They're not some random things that come up. If you truly have a desire for something, then you have the innate ability to create it, to make it happen. You have the talent and abilities. They may be latent, but you have the talent and abilities to make that a reality, including from, if you want to be a dancer, or if you want to be a pilot, or if you want to be an artist, if you want to be a musician, whatever talents, whatever you want to do. And I find unless you have that inherent talent, it may be dormant, you may not be aware of it, but unless you have that talent, you're not given that desire. For example, I have no desire to go mountain climbing. I have no desire to do certain things. I have no desire for for twerking or other kind of rubbish that they people do. But I do have a desire for flying planes, right? Even though I have severe motion sickness, so I will have to take tablets and the stuff to counteract. But I know some point in my life, in the future, I will take my PPL, private pilot license, because I do want to fly planes, right? So I do have the ability to do it. I just have to work out how and go and learn the skills. Another one is, if I have the desire to do Kathak, this is Indian classical dancing. I started learning when I was younger. I unfortunately had to give it up because of my, some family things. It wasn't appreciated in my family because I come from a conservative background. And the mere fact that I was wearing, the ghungroos on my feet, my brother had issues with, so I had to give it up. Anyway, I never got a chance to go back to it. And it's something that I really want to go back to learning. And it's not to perform on stages, but for my own self, because I absolutely love Kathak dancing, right? But I have the ability to do it. I know I have the flexibility and I have the grace to be able to go with a Kathak dance form. And even if I didn't, I will be able to pick it up, because if I have so much desire to learn it, I will develop the skills required to go with the desire. And therefore, my conclusion is you cannot have a desire without the ability to fulfill that desire. This is one of the promises from divine energy. You may have to develop those skills. You may have to develop those abilities, but they may be latent, they may be dormant inside of you, but you do have all the talents and skills required to fulfill a particular desire, okay? So the first thing is knowing what you want, and be very clear with yourself. A lot of the times we are not even truthful with ourselves, what we truly want. We hide even from ourselves. So at least give yourself the permission to be truthful with yourself. Really write it out. And I think the best thing is get a piece of paper and pen and start writing, what do I want? If I had Aladdin's genie in front of me and I wasn't limited to 3 wishes, what could I want? What would I actually want? And write it down. I've done this exercise myself, actually. And, even if it's 100 things and you want 100 things, so what? Write down everything that you could possibly desire at this moment in time. And that list may increase as you go and do, revisit it in a couple of months' time. But you need to be aware of what you really desire. Then once you look through the list and say, okay, what is it that I really want? That income, that partner, that car, that house, what is it that you really, really want? Pick up the top 1 or 2 things that you really want to focus on. I always say, do not focus on, I know a lot of people talk about manifesting 100 things and putting all on the vision board. I don't think there's any harm in putting all the things you desire on a vision board, but I don't believe you should be focusing on 100 things either, because then your energy is dispersed. You want to focus, really zone in and focus on the one thing that you really, really want and make it happen and move on to the next thing, then move on to the next thing, but really focus on the thing that you really, really desire, okay? So pick up one thing that you really, really want. I have a hard time dealing with money, right? So 100,000 or million or billion or whatever it is. So therefore, I break it down into things that I really want. So what do I wanted the house? I got the house. At the moment, I'm focusing on my kids' education and whatever else. So I focus on different aspects, what money can buy for me and money can get for me, rather than actually money itself. But you choose what you want. I'm not here to say and dictate to you or tell you what you should desire. You pick what you desire. So step number 1 is being very clear about what it is that you desire. Now, step number 2, and this is the hardest part from the exercise, by the way, is actually believing that you can have whatever you put down on the paper that you want. So if you say that you want to make $1 million a month, or even $1 million a year, or if you think you want to have the ideal partner, or you think you want to have that, Tesla or Bentley, if you want to have that house, that career, that, I don't know, whatever that you've put down a piece of paper that you want, until and unless you have that conviction that that thing is already yours, it's a done deal, you will not manifest it. Simple as that. So people can want and wish for things for years and years and years, but they will not receive it. They will not attain it until they develop the belief that they can obtain it. And it cannot be just a normal belief, like, yeah, I believe I'm going to be a millionaire. I believe this. It has to be a conviction. And the conviction has to be so strong that doesn't matter what happens, what kind of falsities come up in your 3D world, you will bypass them and choose not to believe in them and choose to believe, no, I believe that's going to happen. I am certain that's going to happen. It has to have that sort of certainty. For example, I know I'm a woman, so it doesn't matter what falsity someone shows me, I know I'm a woman, that conviction is not going to go away, right? You have to have that kind of conviction with your belief that this is going to happen. So using the example of your Bentley, when you want a Bentley and you really are sure that the Bentley is yours, it's going to happen. It's sitting outside in your outside in your garage or your driveway, whatever have you. You have to have so much certainty. This doesn't matter. I can't see at the moment. It's there. It's coming. It's mine. It's already given to me. It's, ask and it's given. So I know what the fact that my Bentley is coming. My Bentley is here. I just have to go out and receive it. When that conviction's there, when there are no room for doubts, here's the key. Where people manifesting is very easy, but where most people mess up and slip up on is second part number 2, which is the belief. If you do not instill the belief inside of you that you have this thing already, you will not have it. If you say, I want, I promise you will always be wanting, you'll never arrive, you'll never have it. You have to have the certainty, the conviction that it's already yours, it's already given to you. It's only when you have that conviction does that thing arrive in your pocket or in your house or in your hands or whatever, okay? The old saying, if you can see it in here, if you can believe it in here, you can hold it in here. That's the trifecta. That's how it works. But just because you know it in here, it doesn't mean that you believe it in here. You have to believe with your whole being, with every atom of your being. You have to have this conviction that this, whatever desire that you have, is already given to you. It's already yours. If you look back in your life, the times that things have happened for you are the times when you just knew. You just knew that it was going to work out. You just had this really inner belief. You know what? This is going to work. I know this is going to work. I absolutely know this is going to work. And when you come from that angle, when you come from that energy, when you come from that space, things always work in your favor and things do happen, right? I don't know why. I just knew I had a feeling that this was going to work out for me. It's your gut feeling. But you can't let it, come to haphazardly. If this is something that you truly desire, be a car, be a money, be a partner, be a business, be a whatever have you, you need to develop the conviction for it first. And this conviction, there's many tools for it. And one of my favorite tools is the mirror exercise, by the way. But there are plenty of manifesting tools out there. There's, affirmations and vision boards and whatever else, and mind movies and whatever else. All these techniques, what do? They help you believe. They help you instill this belief that you can have this. You have this. We're all prone to doubts, and all of these manifesting techniques, help you get rid of the doubts and instill this conviction inside of you that I have this. This is happening for me. It's mine. That's all manifesting techniques do. So, I have a number of them that I give to my mastermind clients. We do, when people come and join my mastermind clients in the beginning, we do what's called a manifestation roadmap call, and where we jump on a call together and I give them my favorite techniques. And then I work out, I ask them what do they actually desire, what is it they want, and then we map out. It's called a manifestation roadmap call for a reason, because we literally design a roadmap for them to do on a daily basis, techniques they use on a daily basis to instill this belief, this conviction. It's not just a belief, it becomes a conviction that this is mine, this is happening, it's happening. When you get to the point when you can see it, you can feel it, you can taste it, it's happening, that's when you know it's going to happen for you. And that's how it works, right? So step number 2 is the hardest. This is where all the manifesting techniques that fail or work, depending on how effectively you use them. And if you're using them incorrectly, a lot of the times, this is where your limiting beliefs will interfere. So you will think, I love money, money loves me, and you will want to bring more money into your life. But what will happen is your limiting beliefs will come to surface. And every time you say, I love money, your inner self will say, no, I don't. I believe money is shameful. I think money is evil. I think money is this, etc., etc. So it's normally in step number 2 that your limiting beliefs interfere, and those limiting beliefs and your negative energy towards money creates their doubts and pushes whatever you desire away from you. So when I say, people try to use the law of attraction in their favor and they go in the opposite direction, for this reason, it's usually in step number 2, because as they try to instill the belief of being able to create the money, to create the abundance, or to have what they want, their inner programming comes up and says, you can't have this, whatever it is, child, partner, money, car, house, whatever it is. And it says, you're not allowed to have this. You can't have this. You don't have this. And the more they push with their willpower, like, I want it, I want it, I want it, the more that creates lack. If you want something, you don't have it, right? If you have something, you don't want it, right? So if you really want, you're not going to have it. And that creates the message to the universe, she's wanting or he's wanting, so he doesn't have it, so don't bother giving it to her. You need to instill the belief, I already have it. I don't want it. I desire it. There's a difference between wanting and desiring. It's a very subtle difference, but I promise you it's a very powerful one. When you want something and there's a lack of it, it doesn't exist in your life at the moment. When you desire it, it's not you wanting it, you needing it. It's something, I'm attracted to it. It's something that's desirable. It's a very, very, very subtle difference, but yet very, very powerful one. So when you desire something, you have to instill the belief that you already have that desire. And so when you have it, you can still desire it. And therefore, but you can't be wanting for it. You can't be yearning for it. You cannot be, waking up in the middle of the night crying for it. It doesn't work that way, right? Unfortunately, the laws are quite precise in terms of the how you need to work with them. Doesn't matter how much you don't like the gravity. If you don't operate within the gravitational laws, you're going to fall flat down on your face when if you jump off a building, right? Whereas on the same time, if you understand gravitational rules, when you jump off a building, you can fly. If you had a parachute or something else, right? So this is step number 2. Using the right manifesting techniques, you instill the belief. Now you can use meditation for this, you can use vision boards for this, you can use emission and visualization for this. There are whole heaps of stuff. There are different ways and methodologies to instill this belief and then turn that belief into conviction over a period of time. The longer it takes you to turn that belief into conviction, the longer it will take for you to bring whatever you want into your 3D world. Simple as that. That's step number 2. Now, step number 3 is, once you start believing that this is what I want, then you listen for inspiration. You listen to your intuition. So you need to open up your intuition. Sitting in a room chanting affirmations is not going to drop $1 million into your lap. I'm afraid that the movie The Secret gave you the illusion that would happen. It doesn't happen that way. What does happen though, when you instill the belief that you deserve $1 million, you will create opportunities and situations for yourself where you can go in and create $1 million. Maybe you create a business where $1 million comes to you through, within a few months, or you go and meet someone and they give you some funding for a startup and you can get $1 million. So when you instill the belief inside of you that, yes, I can have this, I already have this, not I can have it, I already have this, then you start listening. Step number 3 is listening to inspiration and taking inspired action. I'm never going to tell you to take an action without inspiration. I'm never going to ask you to just do things for the sake of doing. I'm going to ask you to stop, pause, walk away, take inspiration, think, sit down, meditate, think about something, and then take inspired action. What do you feel inspired to do? Who do you feel inspired to go meet? What do you feel is the next step in order for you to create this desire in your physical 3D world? Okay, so step 3 is very, very important too, is actually taking inspired action. Too many people get hung up on step number 2 and they do not take action. So even if you do instill this belief, if you do not take action, you're going to be bringing things in very, very slowly. If you do instill the conviction, things will happen for you. I'm not saying you won't, okay? Step number 2 is the most important part. If you instill this conviction that this is happening, it's going to happen, but at a lot slower rate. If you go ahead and take inspired action, it will speed things up and you'll get whatever you're designing a lot faster. Does that make sense? So in summary, the way to manifest is a 3-step method. Step number 1 is figuring out what it is that you desire. Step number 2 is building that belief inside of you and then turning that belief into conviction that what you desire is already here, you already have it, it's a done deal. There's no room for doubt whatsoever. Not an atom worth of doubt can creep in. You can never doubt it. You don't change your mind. You just decide, okay, this is what I want and I'm having it and I've got it. And then that step number 3 is taking inspired action to see what you are inspired to do to bring that desire into physical 3D world. Yeah. So this is the 3 steps to manifesting anything you desire. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please do leave us a review. I do listen and do go and read those. I will be back with another episode. And until the next time we meet, this is Gull Khan signing off. Take care and bye for now.